Okay, I have issues with my internet, so yeah. We have a strong thunderstorm right now coming into the city. It is moving this way, so it's gonna head into northern Queens. So this is the way it's headed, basically. So it's basically headed this way. The southern edge might clip northern Queens, might definitely hit LaGuardia Airport. There's severe thunderstorms right now impacting the city. There's a particularly strong cell right now that's over southern Manhattan. Strongest cell right now is here. Very likely a severe thunderstorm warning will be issued for this cell. Very likely. Just finished a live stream. They just issued a warning for Queens and for Bronx and Manhattan. No, wrong cell.
Southeastern
Yeah.
New York, Bronx County in southeastern New York, Manhattan in southeastern New York until 4:15 p.m. At 3:31 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over Hackensack, moving southeast at miles per hour. Hazard: 60 miles per hour in gusts and quarter-size hail.
Radar indicated.
Source: radar indicated.
Yeah.
Impact: minor hail damage to vehicles is possible. 2:45 p.m. Englewood around 3:50 p.m. Ridgefield and Berkeley around 4:05 p.m.
LaGuardia Airport.
New York and Manhattan around 4:15 p.m.
LaGuardia Airport, yeah.
For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor.
So basically, this storm is going to head over to LaGuardia Airport. It's not going to head down to where I am because it's... So in order for me to intercept the storm, I am going to have it on a west go towards LaGuardia. So even though there's lightning here, it will likely impact the worst. Okay, another warning. There's another warning. All right. So yeah, this storm is already severe, guys, and yeah, it looks like it's gonna actually hit me. So let's see if I'm gonna hear the thunder, because this is where I live, about here. This is approximately my location around here. You can see the thunder as it expands. I still don't hear anything. Looks like it is possibly going to come down to my area. But there's also a possibility that because of the gust front, it could actually end up going north to south, even though the flow is this way. This is a severe thunderstorm. It definitely is severe. I saw some pretty impressive. Well, we just got a report of quarter-sized hail. No, none. Okay, guys, we just had a report of quarter-sized hail in Hackensack, New Jersey. Even though it seems like the storm is moving this way, because of a gust front that developed here, the storm will likely develop to the, they'll be back building more towards the west, so it'll seem like the storm is drifting down south. So I think the core of the storm might end up going to Manhattan, Brooklyn, Hoboken, Jersey City, North Bergen, North Arlington. So these areas might get hit by some large hail in the next few minutes. The primary threat is going to be some large hail, as I mentioned. So this is the storm that I am currently tracking. Darn it, stupid website. This is where the hail occurred, right there. See how the storm see how most of the storms are moving west to east? This one is moving more northwest to southeast. It's almost like the weather, Mother Nature doesn't want to give me any storms. This is all the lightning that's occurring with the storm. So you could see how the storm started out. Storm motion was initially this way. But as you can see, there's some back building all the way back to Saddlebrook. Some lightning. Now, the core of the lightning is around Teaneck Palisades Park, but most of the hail, from what I observed, is around the Hackensack area. This is just where the rain is, but the hail core is back towards Hackensack. And I think the core of the storm will probably go to my southwest and end up being around Brooklyn and possibly Coney Island. Bay Ridge was right around here. So Coney Island's here, Far Rockaway's here. This is Breezy Point. This is where a tornado came through back in 2008, 2012. New York City since then saw one more tornado in 2017 that went through right around Whitestone in this area here, I was in Queens. There was no lightning from that storm because it wasn't really a thunderstorm. It was a low top supercell. It didn't have any lightning with it. So, yeah, that was a problem because you don't hear, usually with tornadoes, you get a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning because it's a thunderstorm, right? But some thunderstorms, some tornadic thunder showers, like we get here in the Northeast, don't always produce thunder and lightning because they're low topped, which means they're not true, like, severe thunderstorms. Basically, other than the tornado, it was just producing some rain. And the tops weren't even at 20,000 feet. Tops with this storm were around 50, 60,000 feet. Reason for that was you had south winds coming in at the surface, while aloft you had a southwest flow. So you had wind shear. Today, there really isn't any shear. There's little of any wind to speak of. So there's almost no chance of any tornado. It's just damaging, just hail. Today's a primary threat is hail. Let me check the radar one more time, guys. Yeah, I don't think that's happening over the Bronx because the core of the storm was back here. Looks like the lightning's slacking up a little. Looks like looks like this cell's weakening a little bit. Probably because it's running into some cooler air from some showers down here. But probably not. It could just be that the storm is cycling. Look at the radar one more time. It's gonna lag for a minute. Oh my God. Whoa. Come on, load. There is a lot of hail with this storm. Holy crap. Okay, yeah, there is a lot of hail. I mean, this is why I said that this video is not for kids, because I swear a lot in these videos. Or I try not to swear that much, but I do. So anyway, there was reported quarter-size hail. Now there's dime-size hail reports right around the Hackensack area. The storm, though the motion is this way, because of the gust front, is back building to the west. Hold on, my webcam just fell. Alrighty. So this is where the storm motion is likely going to take. So I think the core of the storm, even though the hail core is here, by the time it makes it here, it's going to weaken a little bit. So the worst of the storm will likely be in Manhattan and in Brooklyn. The reason I'm not going right now is because, look, I want to be able to intercept the core of the storm. I don't want to say, oh, it's going to be here, and I'm going to go here, and then it'll end up being over here. I mean, I want to be able to make sure that the core of the storm will, not weaken. So if I take a trip, it's not going to be for nothing. Because these storms are more like pulse thunderstorms, which means they blow up and then they collapse because they gust themselves out. In fact, you could see a lot of these storms do gust themselves out. Look at this. You see all this lightning here, but look, there's no more. So this storm gusted itself out. Keep in mind, New York City hit a high of 94 today, so it's pretty darn hot outside today. Like, it's really hot. We were like 94, 95. Yeah, I think I just heard some thunder. Just a little bit. Yeah, I just heard thunder. So yeah, the storm's getting a little close. I just heard a... Alrighty. So there was just another quarter-size hail report. So this is the big hail core right here. This is looking at 20,000 feet. So this is looking way up. So this is a ground report from about a minute ago. There was a report of quarter-size hail, which I believe actually came down 348. You know, it takes a couple minutes to submit a report. This is from I'm gonna have to activate my beacon, but it looks like the core of the storm will basically head down like this. So Brooklyn, Staten Island, you see how it's back building over here? So this could also like potentially then head down into Brooklyn. So I think Brooklyn's gonna get another hailstorm. Like Brooklyn has been getting hailstorm after hailstorm after hailstorm. Like, wow. It's been getting a crap ton of hail, like a lot of hail. Just last Monday, Brooklyn got like a quarter size hail, and I missed it again, and a lot of wind damage. These storms aren't necessarily producing wind damage, they're producing a lot of hail. Some of these storms are producing some wind damage. You can see a cluster of wind damage reports here, two hail reports here, another hail report here. These storms are largely producing hail. There might be some hail up to maybe ping pong size. So the National Weather Service will likely issue another warning in about a couple minutes. So you'll hear my weather radio going off. My expectation is that the storm will drift this way, even though So this is where the storm is moving. And I'm currently taking a class about meteorology, so yeah. I'm going to take a couple more meteorology courses. Still have a few years to graduate, so yeah. I'm 28 and I'm still like, I only have my associate's degree. And I've been in college for a very long time, so it's like, it's been years and years and years since I actually started college. Yep, the sky is getting dark. As you can already see. That's actually the first cell, but what I'm getting now is the anvil from the first storm right now. Let me do another, I'm going to do a surface observation. Okay, guys, I'm going to go outside. Come on. Okay, guys, I'm going to go outside. This whole area just exploded. Like, I'm talking about, like, really high cloud tops. We're about to get some really heavy rain. I mean, the hail part of the storm is collapsing, but this storm is about to produce some really heavy flooding rain. You see this green outline here? These are flood warnings. So yeah, it's going to get really bad right now. And it looks like it may be headed my way. So it looks like I won't have to travel that far after all. Yep. Hey, Victoria. Thank you for joining. Oh, man. I actually was writing a story about an F5 tornado hitting New York City. Because it's going to be possible. I mean, water temperatures off of New York have already hit the 80s, and that's very conducive for A, tornadoes, and B, hurricanes. So basically, you know how you get tornadoes when you get all that Gulf moisture coming into like air mass colliding? So usually if New York City gets any tornadoes, it's going to be during the fall time, because that's when the water temperatures are warmest, and that's actually when a tornado hit my neighborhood just a few blocks away from where I live on September 16th, 2010. Nice. It was an F1. It was an EF1 tornado. It was embedded in a microburst. So it was like a bow echo. It wasn't a supercell like you get in the Midwest. It was basically a line of storms. It had hail with it. They were extremely unstable because you had like very unstable weather that day. There wasn't actually a forecast for severe weather. But it happened anyway. Yep. Basically, this part of the storm is about to explode. Let me check the radar one more time. Oh, hey. No, there's not a tornado in Manhattan. Because if there was a tornado in Manhattan, I'll be getting a tornado warning. And A, I checked the... Who's saying there's a tornado in Manhattan right now? Are you in Manhattan? I mean, you're probably getting a downburst of heavy rain and maybe some small hail, but trust me, there's no tornado. Trust me, there is no tornado. Yeah, I know. It just formed over the city like a minute ago. And I'm hearing thunder, distant thunder. Trust me, you're just getting heavy rain right now and maybe some gusty winds. You're not going to be getting a tornado, trust me. I mean, are you in northern Manhattan? Because you might be getting some hail. Yeah, there is a severe thunderstorm coming in. But it's not there's not going to be any tornadoes today, trust me. Oh, just heard a good boom of thunder. All right, I got a question for you. Hold on. I got a question for you. Where in Manhattan? You said you're in downtown Manhattan. What street are you on about? I could tell you what you're probably gonna get. The eastern part of the storm. that's headed my way is gonna collapse. Oh, they just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. Yep, that's my weather radio going off.
New York has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Hudson County in northeastern New Jersey, eastern Passaic County in northeastern New Jersey, Central Bergen County in northeastern New Jersey, Essex County in northeastern New Jersey,
Whoa. Ow.
New York, Kings County
Whoa.
in southeast New York, and southeastern New York until 5 p.m. At 3:50 p.m., severe thunderstorms were located along the line extending from near Patterson throughout the west, moving south at 5 miles per hour.
South, yeah.
Hazard, ping pong ball sign and 60 miles per
Ping
hour.
pong ball. Dang.
Source indicated. Impact, people and animals outdoors will be injured.
By hail, yeah.
Expect hail damage to roofs.
Trust me, they issued it too late. The hail core already collapsed. They were too late. They think ping pong ball size hail, but guess what? The hail core collapsed. The storm that's heading my way, basically, wait, they said it's moving south. Hold on. They're saying it's moving south. So yeah, maybe they were right. Maybe this area might get some hail, but the hail core that split off is coming my way will probably just be heavy rain. Okay. So right now I'm getting southerly winds. Just a lightning. Okay, I'm getting southerly winds right now. This ain't good because the storms are coming out of the west. So yeah, there might be a tornado. I mean, I'm getting some strong south winds right now. I haven't seen anything about a tornado yet. It's not going to be in the city. There's going to be one. It's probably going to be over the open waters. You might get the weather is conducive for water spouts right now. So yeah, it's really windy right now. We're getting some really strong south winds right now, guys. The core of the storm isn't heading my way, so I'm gonna try to go for where I think the core is gonna be. The core is gonna be to my southwest. Brooklyn, as I mentioned, Brooklyn, Staten Island, they're probably gonna get the core. And I'm talking about the 5 boroughs. So Brooklyn, areas in Brooklyn, Staten Island, you might get some hail. Maybe Western Queens. But the thing is, there's a lot of cloud cover, as you can see. There's a lot of just general cloud cover. So all this darn cloud cover is probably going to stabilize the air because it was in the 90s earlier here in the city. Now it's like in the mid 80s, even though it didn't rain at all. You can see the south wind just blowing in. Water temperatures that are in the 70s. Yeah, this is very unstable air, but keep in mind that temperatures at the surface were in the 90s earlier today. You had the 90s for temps. Now you're getting temps that are, well, in the 80s. So this is still going to be conducive for thunderstorms, but let me take off my mask. I can hardly breathe in it. You see all that clearing over there? That's the high clouds from the thunderstorms, and that's blue skies over there. Thing is, we're getting some really strong south winds as a result of the gust front that are coming in from the storms to my south. So there's Manhattan over there completely socked in just heavy rain right now. The severe weather is actually not over Manhattan right now. It's still west of Manhattan. So there is thunder and lightning above me, but I'm not seeing anything indicative of hail or damaging winds. I'm just seeing a generally dark cloud to the west. Yes, Manhattan is definitely going to get some severe weather. I'm going to check the radar again. I'm going to see where the core of the storm is so I can intercept it. I might have to Uber it because, I don't have my own car. Can't afford my own car still. Because I, A, lost my job, and B, no one is hiring me because of my disability. It's really hard to get a job, even in places like New York City. It's not like because I know about my disability, it's my interview skills. I literally suck at interviews, so yeah. Yeah, there's some inflow right now coming into the storm. It looks like the inflow, I can't really tell if there's any rotation at all. I'm not expecting any severe, like, here in Queens, I don't think much is going to happen. Even though there's thunder and lightning, the CAPE, the convective available potential energy, is going to kind of dwindle because of all this cloud cover and plus winds off the water, because you're getting some really strong winds off of like the Atlantic Ocean here in Queens. So once all that cool air, once the thunderstorm runs into its own cool air plus cool air off the ocean, you're going to get the storm to basically just collapse. It's just going to rain itself out. However, New Jersey, that was in the mid-90s where the storms formed. That's where you're getting all that hail. That's where you're getting all that wind and hail and whatnot. And where you're not going to be getting winds off the water from about Manhattan westward, that's where you might get some severe weather. So like western Brooklyn, perhaps as far east as maybe eastern Brooklyn, you might get some pretty intense thunderstorms. Let me check the radar one more time. Yeah. Guys, it's getting scary now. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Guys, poor Brooklyn is about to get nailed. Holy crap! I just saw a cloud to ground. I saw lightning cloud to ground strike, like illuminated through the window. It was like over there. It was like basically it illuminated through here. Guys, poor Brooklyn is about to get nailed with hail. Like western Brooklyn is about to get slammed with hail. Here, I don't expect much of anything. I mean, I'm saying this before it actually happens. I'm saying Queens is going to get hardly anything, especially northern Queens. Northern Queens is probably going to get what you would call the short end of the stick. Yeah. Queens is going to get the short end of the stick because Queens always does. It's like whenever I'm in Queens, I always get the short end of the stick in everything. Okay. Now there's a southwest wind coming in here. Now the winds are coming in from the southwest. Right, it's getting a little weird now. As I said, the storm was gonna collapse. Look at that, I don't see a wall of black, I see the clouds breaking up. No, Manhattan ain't doomed. Brooklyn might be. Parts of Brooklyn might be. But more likely it's gonna be Staten Island that's gonna get doomed with flooding rain in areas to the west of New York City. But yeah, the hail and wind threat is over for Queens and Manhattan. You could rest assured all you're going to get is heavy rain for the next few hours. There, the gust front just came in. That's basically the gust front coming in. There's some rapid motions up there. That's not fog. What you're seeing is rain. Trust me, that's not fog. That's rain coming in. So there was like a south wind coming in. Now the winds have like shifted. In fact, look at that. I'm not seeing any indications of like tornadic development, but it looks like there could be. I mean, and would you look at that? It collapsed. Whoopsie, look at that. Skies are clearing up. Yep. I hate being right, but I usually am. Just why I hate Queens. I hate living with freaking cool air coming off the ocean, ruining everything. Oh yeah, I saw 90s today. I saw mid-90s But the cool air had to ruin everything. Darn south winds. Oh yeah, it's not just south winds that ruined everything. It's all that darn cloud cover from all these storms. Basically, it cooled it. Even though there's no rain, the ground's dry, the ground's still warm. Guess what's going on? All this cloud cover plus wind off the ocean plus this, even though we didn't get a gust front, we didn't get anything crazy. Oh yeah, there was a little intracloud there. Yes, I know there's a lot of lightning, but that's the storms to the west. We're just getting the distant effects of it. Trust me. I mean, I'm getting the distant effects of it. Fortunately, I'm probably just going to get some heavy rain and maybe basically, I'm probably not even going to get that heavy rain. It's not going to be that heavy. It's probably going to be moderate, unless the part of Hackensack, which is over there. Yeah, sorry for the delay. I was looking at the radar. The weather conditions haven't changed much here in Queens. It's just raining a little bit now. And yeah, my prediction was right. The storm towards my east is not going to make it. It's going to collapse as it comes in because of the wind we had off the water and the fact that there was, it's raining here in Queens. So this is stabilizing the air. In fact, it feels kind of nice and cool and refreshing out here. And that's going to be the primary reason Queens won't get much. Yeah, we'll have some lightning, some moderate rain, some breezes from the gust front, but that's about it here in Queens. I mean, the storm in Hackensack is basically conglomerating into this main cluster. So the eastern port of the storm will basically collapse. Well, it's not going to collapse. It's basically the western part might continue to get stronger, especially the northern part. But as it comes in a more stable air from the gust fronts and the sea breezes, it's not going to make it here. It's going to collapse. So not everyone's going to be getting severe weather. Like my area, I mean, Queens always gets this. For example, storms form in New Jersey, big storms form in New Jersey, and then as they try to make it into the city, they collapse because of either sea breezes or all the high clouds that is overrunning the storm. Yeah, if you want to see severe weather, Queens is in a very bad position. You always want to be Manhattan, Brooklyn, west to see a good amount of severe weather. I mean, if it wasn't for this damn sea breeze, I might have saw something, but even though it was brief and it didn't cool down the temperatures by that much, this is doing a great job stabilizing the atmosphere. Great job. It's doing an excellent job making sure that Queens will not get any severe weather, or at least where I am. Why am I not going on an Uber? Because I don't want to waste my time traveling, and then by the time I get there, the storm might already be over. Because this storm is probably going to produce a crap ton of traffic. I mean, I already learned my lesson last Monday when I went to Long Island because it looked like the storm was going to head there, and I ended up heading towards Long Island City where they got hail. Long Island City isn't even that far. It's like 4 miles to my west. Had I just taken the E train a little bit west, I would have seen hail. Oh, damn, I just saw lightning over there. Yeah, the storm is collapsing, guys. I was right. My area ain't going to get anything. What I've been saying for the past 40 minutes basically ended up being the rule rather than the exception. I hate being right. I hate it so much. Yeah, so basically, the storm that was supposed to head my way, because it was to my northwest, ended up going westward like this. It ended up going west and then northeastward, even though most of the storms are heading from the southwest, from the northwest to the southeast. So basically, the stormers are like deliberately avoiding me. It's like they're doing this. It's like they're going each way, but towards me. Of course, when the storm first formed, it seemed like it was headed my way, but I decided to wait and see what was going to happen. which ended up being a really, really, really bad choice. But even though it seemed like the storm was going to head my way, I decided to be a negative Nancy and say that it's not going to head my way. It's going to do everything but head my way and go every other way, which is exactly what happened. So to be honest, guys, I brought this upon myself. Yeah, I, with negativity, brought it upon myself. Yes, I'm saying this in a live stream. Guys, if you want to be a storm chaser, one thing you do not do is be really negative, because A, it's going to happen. That's like, it's like an unspoken storm chaser rule. You can say that being pessimistic is not only going to get you nowhere, even if you were chasing an awesome storm and you were like right on its tail, if you were being negative, saying, oh, it's going to collapse, it's going to collapse, it's going to collapse. Like, it's going to do something that you really did not want it to do. Maybe all of a sudden it's going to gust itself out, or just might turn into a high precipitation monster that either pelt your car with large hail if that's what you don't want, or just make the road really muddy so you get stuck in the road. So yeah, being negative when storm chasing is the last thing you want to do. And especially if you're staying in place, because that's going to cause a storm to miss you, or to like do whatever it wants to do to piss you off, because you are basically putting it into the atmosphere. And of course, I'm saying this to myself, basically, because that's what I did. Yeah, I didn't like influence the storm, but when you're negative, negative things happen. It's not like I caused it to happen. It was probably meant to happen in some way, but probably if I was more positive, I probably would have been more like eager to like take and do something, like not stay in one place. I probably would have gone to the part that had the storm. I probably would have been more thinking more logically, because a lot of people, when they're negative, make illogical choices because they're more emotional, as am I. I have emotional dysregulation disorder. I get very easily emotional, and I make more emotion and not logic-based decisions, and that's something I need to work on. I need to be more logical, but I'm often more emotional than I am logical. Like when I make forecasts for hurricane seasons, I usually use logic. That's why my forecasts are correct, because they're not based in emotion, they're based on logic. When you base something on logic, like the reason I said the storms are going to miss me, yes, it was partly based on logic, but it was also based on my pessimistic expectation that I always get missed. And it's basically because of the geography of Queens County. Queens County is on a peninsula. And not on any peninsula, but one that jets out into the ocean. So because it jets out into the ocean, Queens is very easily subjected to, Nassau and Suffolk counties, very easily subjected towards changing wind directions, especially when it's off the water. Granted, the water temperatures are really warm right now. They're in the mid to upper 70s. But keep in mind, we had temperatures in the 90s today, in the 90s here in Queens. And temperatures now are in the upper 70s. So they're like 15 to 16 degrees cooler. So with all that lack of instability, you're not going to be having really strong thunderstorms. And I kind of knew that. Like in the back of my mind, I knew that. But it was really warm when this cell first formed, when it was one cell. When it first formed over Hackensack about an hour and a half ago, it was a very strong cell. It seemed to be headed my way, but I kind of knew what was going to happen. Even though the general motion was supposed to be southwest, northwest to southeast, I don't know, but I kind of saw that gust front coming in, and I'm like, yeah, it's going to be too messy. That's why I didn't chase, because I kind of expected this big mess to happen, and the models were kind of expecting it too. Yeah, the models did a good job forecasting the storms today. I should have been in New Jersey and not in Queens today. Well, it's too late. I'm just going to go out for pizza now. I'm ending the live stream. Thank you all for